I'm Jackie Sacco. I live in Southern New Jersey. I am a preschool teacher that also works with mindfulness and yeah, that's just a little bit about myself. I originally joined because I was looking for a place to put all of my emotions. I've always been like a highly intuitive and very emotional person that kind of like takes on emotions from other people and doesn't know if I didn't know if they were my own or other people's. And my mom had done meditations with you previously and she highly recommended it. I had meditated when I was younger and I could never find a way to like get myself settled. Like I always kind of like thought it was silly and couldn't sit still and all that kind of stuff because I'm very energetic. And she was like, no, like she's something different. You got to check her out. Like, and I was like, okay, I can do that. And after I saw my mom had made shifts as well, and after I had seen that she had made those emotional, mental, and like really communicative too with my mom, like she's always been the person I went to talk to back and forth, but when I could see that she was holding space for me in a different way and also like reacting in different ways, like that's when I was like, oh wow, like if this is what was able to get her to a better place and have better responses, then this is what I need too, because that I was struggling with that a lot. So that's why I had chosen to do the initial 8 week level 1 training with you. Ooh, that's a good question. I learned so much. One of the I don't want to say the best because like everything that I learned was incredible, but my favorite was probably learning how to detach myself from the 3D around me and also not fully detach myself from my emotions, I don't want to say, but to be able to recognize them when they came up and not identify who I am with that emotion, right? Like just because I'm sad doesn't mean that I'm always like I'm sad right now. It doesn't mean that I'm always a sad person or like I'm always depressed. And not put so much like weight in my 3D reality. I was able to detach a lot, like from not only just like my physical materials, because like I loaded up bags of stuff that I knew that I've been holding on to that has all that old energy that I was attaching my old feelings to. So that was a huge for me, being able to detach what I placed so much value in just to be able to get rid of and not feel anything bad about it, like letting go of that past and kind of like reviving myself, like who I actually am instead of like all the attachments of who I think I am or who I told myself I was. Um, so that was really beautiful. And then on top of it, another really big thing that I learned is how to take that step back for myself during emotional times and emotional regulations, like creating a safe space for myself and being able to fill my own cup, finding like that routine and what I need to do in the mornings, even if, I don't like waking up early, but do I need to wake up early so that I can better serve myself and better serve my students throughout the day and my relationships and my family members and everything like that. Like, yeah, that's what I want in my life. So I need to make those choices to fill my own cup so that I do have space for other people and I do have that love for myself still. So that when I do have those moments of sadness, I can identify them as what they are. Like, that's a moment of sadness. Like, it's okay. I can have it. I can recognize it and I can give that love to myself in that moment and like know that like it's okay that I'm having that feeling and not to let it become all consuming anymore. I'm no longer in that space where I am the sad person, right? Like I am a happy, joyous, amazing, worthy, all of these things kind of person that experiences sadness sometimes. So at first the first thing I did was I kind of like jumped onto social media and I got like really excited. And I've also experienced like a lot of subconscious mind work and changes recently too. So I like wanted to share everything, I feel like, all at once. And then it kind of hit me that like that it was like that it's a lot and I don't need to do everything all at once. And like that was also me kind of like emptying my cup instead of filling it. And I was like, okay, like I need to take a step back because this is draining me. So what I started doing was I started taking like all of the real life moments that I have in my life, like as a teacher, and I've been implementing them into my communities and into my spaces and my relationships and in my family. So one of the big things that happened for me that I was able to implement was a more harmonious like and open communication with my family. That was a big one for me. I'm able now to to put in boundaries and to be able to have conversations where I can put my foot down, so to speak, but also like be in myself and my power with my family. I'm able to have those open conversations with my dad specifically, and also my mom that I wasn't able to have before, where I feel okay and I feel centered. And now I can also see that, especially, my mom's going through this too, but she's harmonizing with my father and I'm harmonizing now with him too. And we're able to have really open and honest communications about our past and our traumas that have led us to our feelings and like how those feelings are changing. And then I've been implementing changes in my classroom as well. So I'm able to come into school and fully meditated and refreshed and having that energy for my students. So I'm able to lead them through mind you, they're between 3 and 5 years old. And I'm able to consciously lead them through breath work, through mindful movement practices, where they're connecting their breath to movements and they're using their breath throughout the day in a way that regulates their emotions. So for example, we do collectively as a community all together in the morning, we do our breathing techniques. And I have a couple different ones because they're kids, some of them we use like different motions to keep them active and excited. But I talk to them about why we do it so that later on in the day, say one of my students, which always happens because we're between 3 and 5 years old, has a really big feeling, I'm able to co-regulate with them so I can have my safe space with my full cup and my love, and I could sit with them and I can breathe with them. Now that they know the breathing tactics and techniques, they can regulate their bodies with mine, and they can use it as a way to feel through their feelings and get them out. So not only am I able to like keep myself centered during this and know, that even though they're screaming, they're crying, they're throwing something, they're upset, it doesn't have to trigger me to be also in that upset, like you need to stop, like I'm able to regulate myself with them and share that with all of my students, to the point where I have a couple students now that come up to me and like hold my hand if they can tell that I'm a little like flustered or confused on what's going on and I'm trying to regulate myself in the moment. I have students that are even able to it's so instinctual now for them that they can notice it and they can come up to me and hold my hand and be like, it's okay, Miss Jackie, like maybe we should just breathe. And it's so beautiful to be able to do that and share that with them, and see their growth. And then on top of it, I have also been sharing meditation with my school community. So I started a program where every Monday morning I open a space for all of the staff members in my school before any of our students arrive, and I guide us through a 10 to 15 minute guided meditation where we can come together as a school community and kind of like regulate ourselves and fill all of our own cups so that like we are prepared for our students throughout the hectic preschool day, because there's a lot of feelings. We are in our unconscious programming when we're between the ages of birth and 9 years old. So I think that that's a really big deal to be able to put the focus where it needs to be. Like instead of, making sure they know their numbers 1 through 10 before they leave preschool, like, okay, that's cool, but can they emotionally regulate themselves and others so that instead of throwing a plastic toy across the room and hitting someone else, causing physical harm and emotional turmoil, like, can we talk it out? And like, can they emotionally regulate themselves so that they can eventually learn their numbers? So that's where I've been putting in my practice and my focus. And um, I'm seeing a lot in other people. I get a lot of gratitude back too, which has lights me up and makes me want to keep pushing forward and do it more. So those are like the big areas that I know that I'm using to better myself and my community. Yeah, I recommend, quite honestly, I mean, I would definitely say everyone. I would definitely recommend it to everybody and anyone who is feeling like they need to take a next step with themselves specifically. Maybe anyone who's feeling stuck, like they don't know what to do, they don't know where to turn, because a lot of that is they're seeking from the external, and that's what I used to do too, right? I'm always seeking, what can I buy that'll make me feel better? What can I do that'll make me feel better? Who can I talk to that knows better than I do? And for me, and I believe truly, like for most human beings on this planet, like we are humans, and like yes, we do need help and we do need support, but our greatest gift and our greatest support systems are ourselves. So taking this class really is for anybody who is looking for that like internal validation, anyone who's looking to stop seeking um, things from other people that they think might help and start to look within, whoever's ready to really like look within themselves and find inner peace and stop seeking external validation. If you're feeling like it's a little bit too much and there's too many opinions, there's too many like, options of things to do, the answer really does lie within yourself. And the second that you start to feel like you need something, in order to solve a problem, that's when like you need to start looking within. And so I definitely would recommend it to anyone who's feeling that way, anyone who's feeling a little lost or scared, or yeah, definitely that's the biggest one for me, is looking for something outside of themselves, because everything that you need is right inside of yourself. And Nandar can definitely, I know you can provide that.